So this story is about Tailey Bones' cousin, Rob. Tailey Bones' cousin Rob used to live out in the woods of northern Arizona. And one time he was up there and he stumped his toe on a juniper bush. And when he stumped his toe, he got a splinter in the end of it, and it gave him an idea that if he could use small splinters to trap small animals, then that would be. Well, it was complex because in his mind was a vortex of ideas, because he had come from a farm in North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina to be exact, where he lived near Monte Vista Road. And so he had the old mountain ways in his mind where they used to trap and kill animals and make faces with their tongues, but not really. So he thought, look, I don't have to kill these animals if I can just give them a splinter in their toe where they bend over and say, ow, that would give me enough time to put a net around them. And so he thought, what device, what could I put out here? So he took a block of wood and scruffed it up, and he put it in the path that animals would walk in. Mainly, he was trying to trap a Sasquatch or a Samsquatch or a Bigfoot. So he put a block of wood he scruffed up a block of wood, put it in, it looked like it could be a cow path, could be a goat path, who knows, could be a Sasquatch path. Or a Bigfoot, right? And so he did that. He put that block of wood there, and he waited. And he would climb up in that tree, and he'd usually take like a Slim Jim and a Rock Star up there. And so he'd eat his Slim Jim, he'd drink his Rock Star, and he'd be sitting up there for a long time, And sometimes some hikers would come by, and he'd play a joke on them, like he might throw a rock at their head or something, And like they'd be like, "Whoa, what's going on?" He'd look up there, and he'd make sounds like, like that. He was just messing with the hikers. He got bored up there. He was trying to catch a Sasquatch, and with a roughed up block of wood, which sounds like a crazy thing to do, but it can be done. I mean, you'll find out. It can or cannot be done. I mean, just like everything else in the world. So, then this went on and on for a long time, and the main reason he did this was because he didn't have a happy home life, and he was kind of looking for an escape. His wife was, she was hooked on slushies and quesaritos from Taco Bell. The new quesaritos came out, and she could not resist them, and she got so angry when she couldn't get that quesarito. One day her car was broken down, and she couldn't get a quesarito, and so he came home, and she was mad because she hadn't had her quesarito that day. And she was just pissed, as soon as he told me, he was like, look, I don't get it. He said, I had a bad day at work. I said, baby, I'm tired. My back hurts. And she said, I want a damn quesarito. Excuse my language. And,
I got my stuff.
Anyway, I can't repeat what happened because there's children present. But anyway, so basically he didn't have the happiest of home life, so he had to go up, and sit in a tree and look for Samsquatches. Samsquatch, a Bigfoot, basically. This happened, for a long time. But finally what happened was he was falling asleep. One day he was falling asleep up there, and he heard something that made it sound like, and he looked down, and there was something that looked like a bear, almost between a bear and a gorilla, and it was down there holding his toe, and automatically he thought, am I crazy? This worked. I just caught myself a Samsquatch. And he dropped down out of there, and all of a sudden, out cold. Like, he did not remember what happened. He woke up, and he was just laying there looking up. All he could see was the sky through all the pine tree branches and everything from in the woods where he was at. And on his shirt was hairs. It was Sasquatch hairs. And so, well, what happened was he he took those hairs to the pawn shop because he thought, look, if I can tell these people at the pawn shop these are Sands Ranch hairs, I might be able to buy me a Greyhound ticket to get out of here because my wife's so mean to me. And well, he went to the Greyhound with he went to the pawn shop with some hairs. And the people at the pawn shop were just like, "Are you crazy? You know, you're going to bring us hairs to the pawn shop? What's wrong with you? Are you telling a story on top of my story?"
We're on YouTube.
Wow, this is a very important story.
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically he didn't even get anything to trade. Like he couldn't even trade some dirt on an old chainsaw for those hairs, and he was pretty upset. But you know, not as upset as he was when he woke up with the headache that he got from that Sam Squanch smacking him in the head. And he knew he'd been beat up by a Sam Squanch, but he couldn't do anything about it. So basically, the moral of the story is, don't climb trees and try to sell hairs in the pawn shop. And if your significant other is mean to you, just talk about it. And if that don't work, just go buy a 6-pack of beer and watch Bob's Burgers or something like that. And Stella's got a joke for you. To end
What
it
do you
all up.
call it? Barbie on the grill.
What?
A barbecue. A barbecue.